Did you know that psychological studies show that 90% of people worry more about what they lack than about what they already have? And what if I told you that this mindset might be keeping you away from the money you desire? In this video, I will reveal exactly what is missing for you to open the doors to abundance. Stay with me until the end so you don't miss the most transformative point of this content. I know many of you may be thinking, Bob, how can I attract money when I can barely pay my bills? This thought is more common than you think. But what I am about to share can transform your relationship with money, health, and even happiness. Have you ever imagined how it would feel to live without the weight of an uncertain future on your shoulders? And the best part is that you only need to follow these 5 steps. Step 1. Tune into the frequency of abundance. Did you know that financial abundance is already around you, just waiting for you to adjust your frequency to receive it? I want you to imagine money as a radio station. Think about this: every thought you have, every emotion you feel, works like a dial, tuning your frequency to either attract or repel what you desire. If you are constantly focused on problems, on debts, on scarcity, what you are really doing is tuning into a station that only broadcasts more of the same difficulties. And guess what? The more you listen, the more you believe this is the only available reality. But it isn't. Now, think about how a radio station works. The music, the message, the energy it emits only becomes clear when you are on the exact right frequency. And money, success, prosperity, they follow the same logic. To receive them, you need to be on the same vibration as them. This starts in the mind. When you change your thoughts, adjusting your frequency to gratitude, possibility, and abundance, you begin to receive just that. This may seem too simple, but let me tell you a story. One day, when I was going through a time when everything seemed out of reach, I realized the only thing I could control was what went through my mind. That's when I started practicing a very powerful technique. Every morning, before even putting my feet on the ground, I gave thanks. Not for what I wanted, but for what I already had. And something amazing happened. Small changes began to appear. Opportunities one had previously overlooked started to stand out. People I never imagined working with began to seek me out. And all of this happened because my frequency changed. You may still be skeptical. That's fine. Science can help explain this. Studies show that our thoughts and emotions create neurological patterns in the brain that directly affect our perception of possibilities. In practical terms, when you are in a state of scarcity, your brain literally filters out opportunities because it is conditioned to look for what's missing. But when you cultivate thoughts of abundance, you reprogram your brain to see pathways where you once saw walls. This isn't magic, it's neuroscience. Think of great figures like Jim Carrey. Before becoming one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood, he wrote checks to himself and visualized the day those amounts would become real. He didn't just believe it, he lived in that frequency. He knew that to attract the reality he wanted, he needed to be in tune with it. The same goes for you. Let's get practical. Today, I want you to begin a simple exercise. When a thought of scarcity arises, something like "I don't have enough money to pay my bills" or "I'll never be able to achieve my goals," pause for a moment and replace that thought with a new one. Tell yourself, "I am open to all the abundant opportunities the universe has for me." Repeat this until it becomes an inner truth. It may feel uncomfortable at first, and that's okay. It's like tuning a radio that's filled with static. It may take a while to find the right frequency, but once you do, the sound will be crystal clear. And it's not just about repeating words or thinking positively. It's about feeling. Feel abundant even before you have any physical evidence of it. This may sound contradictory, but this is how you attract what you desire. Everything in the universe operates by resonance. Like attracts like. If you emit vibrations of scarcity, that's what you'll attract. But when you emit vibrations of abundance, even in small doses, you start to attract situations and people that resonate with that energy. Do you remember the last time you genuinely felt grateful? Maybe it was for something small, like a moment of peace or a meaningful conversation. Now, imagine expanding that feeling to cover all areas of your life, including your finances. It doesn't matter where you are today, What matters is where you choose to tune your mind. And I'd love to hear from you. What do you feel when you think about this? What's the first change you can make to your frequency right now? Let me know in the comments. Step 2. The power of words. Did you know that the words you use every day have the power to shape your reality? They're not just sounds or symbols. They are direct commands to your mind, instructing it on how to interpret the world and, more importantly, how to act in it. And believe me, what you say to yourself is far more powerful than anything the outside world can say. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you said phrases like, "I never have enough money," or "making money is too hard"? You may not even realize it, but these words are programming your mind to believe exactly that. They're like seeds planted in the soil of your consciousness. And just like any seed, they grow and become your reality. Earl Nightingale once said, "We become what we think about most of the time." And I'll add, we also become what we repeatedly say to ourselves. When I started to understand this principle, I realized that I needed to change the way I spoke about my life and my finances. I remember a time when everything seemed to go wrong. I was drowning in debt, and every conversation seemed like I was reinforcing that reality. Phrases like "I'll never get out of this situation" were common. But then something clicked. I realized that I needed to stop describing the life I had and start talking about the life I wanted to create. That's when everything started to change. Instead of repeating thoughts and words of scarcity, I began to use simple but powerful affirmations. I would say things like, "Money flows to me easily and abundantly." At first, it felt like a lie. My external reality was screaming the opposite. But I kept going. I repeated those phrases until they became more familiar than the thoughts of lack. And then, something fascinating happened. Opportunities began to appear, almost like magic. But it wasn't magic. It was science. At that time, my debts were about 12,000 British pounds, which is approximately 1.5 million Algerian dinars. And everything started changing when I changed my thinking and the way I spoke. I was reprogramming my brain, creating new neural pathways that allowed me to see and seize opportunities one had previously ignored. Science proves this. Studies show that positive affirmations, when repeated consistently, can literally reshape the brain's patterns. They help replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. And the key is repetition. Just like we learn any skill, whether it's playing an instrument, driving a car, or learning a language, we learn to believe in something by repeating it until it becomes natural. Now, I want you to reflect on what you're telling yourself every day. What are the phrases that most often pass through your mind? Are they words of encouragement or of limitation? The truth is, if you constantly tell yourself that something is impossible, your brain won't even bother looking for solutions. But when you change your words, you literally open doors. Remember figures like Muhammad Ali, who confidently said, "I am the greatest." He said this before he even became a champion. And why? Because he knew his words would shape his belief, and his belief would shape his actions. He used the power of words to create an identity that would take him to the top. Now, I want you to start doing this too. Choose a powerful affirmation and begin repeating it every day. It could be something simple like, "I am worthy of wealth," or "Opportunities are always within my reach." Repeat it in the morning, at night, and whenever a thought of doubt or scarcity arises. At first, your brain may resist. It may try to convince you that it's not true. But persist. In the end, it's your mind that decides what's real. And here's an important detail: it's not enough to just say the words. You have to feel the emotion behind them. When you affirm something, imagine what it would be like to live that truth. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the confidence that comes with this reality. This amplifies the impact of your words and accelerates the transformation. Remember, what you say has power. Use this power wisely. If you can see something in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. This is not just an inspiring phrase, it's a universal principle that explains how we create our reality. Everything that exists today, whether it's the most advanced technology or the most admired piece of art, started as a vision in someone's mind. And this same ability to imagine and manifest is not exclusive to great inventors or geniuses. It's available to all of us, including you. Visualization is more powerful than many realize. It's like using the sharpest pencil to draw the map of your life. When you create a clear and detailed image of what you want, you give your subconscious specific instructions on where to direct its energy and focus. Think about this: how many times have you wanted something, but let your mind wander between doubts and uncertainties? When we lack clarity, life has no direction. But when we visualize with intention, we create a roadmap that brings us closer to what we want. I clearly remember when I first discovered the power of visualization. I was at a point in my life where it seemed like nothing was going right. The debts were piling up, and opportunities always seemed out of my reach. It was then that I decided to try something different. Every night, before I went to sleep, I would close my eyes and imagine myself living the life I wanted. I didn't just see the images, I felt the emotions. I felt the joy of being free from debt, the security of a stable bank account, and the gratitude of living in abundance. At first, it seemed like a silly exercise, but over time I began to notice changes. My behavior changed, my decisions became more aligned with my goals, and opportunities that I had previously not seen started to appear. It wasn't magic. It was the result of a trained and focused mind. This principle isn't abstract. It's used by some of the world's greatest athletes. Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer, visualized every stroke, every turn, and every victory before stepping into the pool. He didn't just imagine winning, he mentally placed himself in the position of a champion, feeling the weight of the medal before he even won it. And it was this practice that helped him become one of the greatest winners in the history of sports. You can apply this same principle to your life right now. Start by dedicating a few minutes of your day to visualize your goals. If you want to improve your finances, imagine yourself receiving the income you deserve, managing your resources wisely, and living the life you dream of. And here's the most important detail: visualize with all of your senses. Don't just see your goal. Listen to the sounds around you in that scene. Feel the textures, the surroundings, the emotion. The more realistic your visualization, the more it will be ingrained in your subconscious. Science backs this up. Studies show that the brain doesn't distinguish between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. When you visualize something repeatedly, you literally create neural pathways that make that reality more likely. It's like training your mind to accept your goal as something inevitable. This not only increases your confidence, but also adjusts your focus, helping you to notice and act on opportunities that may have gone unnoticed before. Visualization also has another crucial benefit: it eliminates the fear and anxiety that often hold us back. When you see yourself living your goal, you start to familiarize yourself with it. It stops being something distant or impossible and becomes a natural extension of your life. It's like training for a big event. The more you practice mentally, the more prepared you feel when the real opportunity comes. And here's something I want you to do right now. Close your eyes and think of something you want to achieve in the next 6 months. It could be a financial goal, a career change, or even a trip. Visualize every detail. Where are you? Who's with you? How do you feel? Allow yourself to be fully present in that imagined moment. Then, write down that vision on a piece of paper. Place it somewhere you can see it every day, as a constant reminder of where you are going. What vision have you chosen to create for your life? Share it in the comments. Use it with intention and watch your life transform right before your eyes. Gratitude is the key to opening the doors of abundance, yet many people completely ignore it. It's easy to fall into the trap of focusing on what we don't have. Perhaps you're thinking about a bill to pay, a financial goal that seems distant, or something you'd like to have but haven't gotten yet. This mindset is common, but let me tell you something, it may be what's holding you in place. When you begin practicing gratitude consciously, something magical happens. When you stop focusing on what you lack and begin to appreciate what you already have, it's like adjusting the focus of a camera. Suddenly, everything around you becomes clear, and you realize how much you already have available. And this is not just beautiful words. It's a practice that can transform lives. At one point in my life, gratitude helped me out of a situation that seemed impossible. It was a tough period, and every day seemed to bring more financial challenges. That's when I decided, almost as an experiment, to be grateful for what I had, no matter how small. In the beginning, it was just simple things: a warm meal, a roof over my head, a conversation with a friend. But day after day, this practice started to change the way I viewed my life. I realized that when I focused on what I already had, my energy changed. I felt more confident, more optimistic, and more open to possibilities. And it was exactly in this state of gratitude that I began to attract the opportunities that would change my situation. Science also supports this. Today, studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly have higher levels of well-being, suffer less from stress, and even sleep better. That's because gratitude is not just an emotional state, it's a vibrational state. When you're grateful, you emit a frequency that tells the universe, "I'm ready to receive more." And the universe, as generous as it is, responds. This practice is so powerful that many of the biggest names in success attribute much of their achievements to gratitude. Tony Robbins, for example, talks about how he starts each morning with a practice of gratitude. He says that this not only puts him in a positive state of mind, but also prepares him to face any challenge that may arise throughout the day. And you can do the same. If you think you have no reason to be grateful, I want you to do a little exercise right now. Look around you. Is there something you can be grateful for in this moment? Maybe it's something simple, like the air you breathe, or the opportunity to learn something new. When you start looking for reasons to be grateful, you'll find them. And the more you thank, the more reasons for gratitude will appear. It's a virtuous cycle. Gratitude also has an interesting effect on how you view your goals. When you're grateful for what you already have, you create a solid foundation of trust. You know that you already have enough to get started, and this removes that feeling of desperation or anxiety that often accompanies the desire to achieve more. Instead, you act from a place of security, knowing that you're on the right path. Now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine that gratitude is like a seed. Every time you're grateful, you plant that seed in fertile soil. Over time, it grows, blooms, and bears fruit. These fruits are the blessings, the opportunities, and the achievements that start appearing in your life. But like any plant, gratitude needs to be nurtured daily. Here's a challenge for you: over the next 7 days, start and end each day by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big or small. The important thing is that you genuinely connect with that feeling of gratitude. And when you finish the exercise, ask yourself, how does this make me feel? What are you grateful for in this exact moment? Remember, gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a powerful force that can open doors you didn't even know existed. Use it wisely and watch the magic happen. And by the way, when my debts reached around £30,000, and my monthly income was barely £1,500, I found nothing but gratitude to give me peace and help me start anew. And gratitude was truly the first step towards change. Everything begins in the mind. Your beliefs are like the mental DNA that shapes your life. Imagine for a moment that your mind is fertile soil, and that every thought you plant in it becomes the harvest you will experience. If you plant seeds of doubt, scarcity, and fear, what you will reap is exactly that. But if you plant seeds of abundance, confidence, and success, your harvest will be one of prosperity and opportunities. It seems simple, doesn't it? But here's the point: you must consciously choose what you're planting. Our beliefs are so powerful that they not only influence what we perceive as possible, but also what we allow to enter our lives. Earl Nightingale once said, "We become what we think about most of the time." And this is more true than many people realize. The mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. If you feed your mind with thoughts of success, it will begin to create pathways to make those thoughts a reality. But if you allow yourself to be swept away by pessimism or a scarcity mindset, the cycle repeats, reinforcing limitations. I learned this lesson the hard way. There was a time in my life when it seemed like nothing was going right. My focus was always on what I lacked, what was wrong. And guess what? Reality just kept reflecting those thoughts. Until one day, I decided to conduct an experiment on myself. I decided that for 30 days, I would only allow thoughts that reinforced the idea that I deserved abundance. Every time a doubt came up, I replaced it with something like, I deserve the best that life has to offer. And it was like turning on a light in a dark room. Within weeks, things started to change. Not only the world around me, but my perception, my actions, my choices. This isn't just about positive thinking. It's about reprogramming your mind. Think of your brain as a computer. Limiting beliefs are like outdated software, full of bugs, that needs replacing. And one of the most effective tools for this is affirmations. When you repeat a powerful affirmation like I am worthy of financial success, you are sending a clear command to your brain. And over time, it begins to operate according to that new command. Look at examples like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Before he became one of the greatest bodybuilders in the world, a Hollywood star, and even a governor, he used affirmations to reinforce his belief that he could achieve anything. He said, everything I visualized and believed in, I achieved. He knew that before he could achieve anything in the external world, he had to believe internally that it was already his. Now, I want you to think about your own beliefs. Which of them are limiting you? Perhaps you believe that you have to work endlessly to make money, or that success only comes to those with privilege. These beliefs are like chains holding you back. But here's the secret, you have the power to break them. Start by recognizing these beliefs, and then replace them with new ones that reflect the life you want to create. Imagine this in practice. If you believe that you will never have enough money, start saying to yourself, I am a magnet for financial opportunities. Repeat this every day, morning and night. And don't just say the words, feel what they mean. Imagine how it would feel to live that reality. This combination of words and emotions is what creates true transformation. But don't stop there. Changing beliefs also requires action. If you're programming yourself to believe in abundance, you need to act like someone who truly believes in it. This means investing in yourself, seeking knowledge, being aware of opportunities, and, most importantly, trusting the process. Now, I want to hear from you. What beliefs will you begin to replace from today onwards? Leave them in the comments. Don't be shy. Share your new affirmation and inspire others to do the same. Because when you change your beliefs, you change your life. And remember, transformation starts in the mind, but it manifests in everything around you. Your beliefs, thoughts, and words have the power to shape your reality in a deep way. And when you start applying this, not just tomorrow or next week, but today, you're taking the first step toward completely changing the way you live and attracting what you want. This change is not just about money, it's about freedom, confidence, and the certainty that you're capable of creating an extraordinary life. Now, imagine how it would feel to wake up tomorrow with this new mindset, knowing that you're in control, that you can adjust your frequency, reprogram your beliefs, and open doors that once seemed closed. The advantage of starting today is simple. Every small step you take brings you closer to the life you deserve. It's like building a staircase to success, one step at a time. And speaking of that, the next video that's appearing on the screen now is the next step in your journey. Tap on it to watch, and continue to become 1% better than you are today. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video, where we'll continue your evolution towards wisdom and transformation. I'll be waiting for you there.